Hello, welcome to our live stream. I have a nice little fun quiz for us today. If you would like to join me live, then let me know. I will type in the link so you can join. My name is Jen. For those of you who don't know, you can find me here every Tuesday after my live stream on EWA and on Wednesdays, and yeah, sometimes at other times as well. I like to go live. I offer conversation English for you to participate in and practice your language skills. So yeah, welcome to our lesson today. And for those of you who don't know me, then I'm from the United States, and I teach conversation English to people all around the world. So if you are looking for a place to be able to practice, hello, Yuki, sweetie, hello again, then I am here to assist you in any way that I can. Every week we have a new topic. Our topic this week happens to be fashion. So yeah, let's take a look here. Hold on, let me get rid of this real quick. Sorry. And yeah, so let me pull up my first slide for today and let's see what we've got. And I hope this is going to work. That's not it. Nope. Oh, no, here we go. Love it or hate it. Let's do another round of love it or hate it while we wait for people to join. I hope that is, you can see that okay. Yuki, maybe you can give me a heads up, please, if you don't mind. Yeah. So let's see. So love it or hate it. We had a little session of love it or hate it in our live stream. So let's start with the first one, gray hair undyed. So we have hair, and in my case, I get a lot of gray in here and I have to dye my hair. I could leave it undyed and then I would be able to, hey, Mohammed, hello. Yes, good. So you can see it well. Thank you for the feedback. So I could leave it undyed and then you would see gray and then eventually all my hair would be gray. Hello to you, salam. And yeah, so, or I could go ahead and dye it. So I think that this looks actually really beautiful. Some people look extraordinary with all silvery gray hair. I think I'm too white for that. My skin complexion is not dark enough. We would say that would wash me out, so that it would just be white on white. So I would look like a ghost. B, what about socks and sandals? What do we feel about socks and sandals? We talked about socks and Crocs. C, nail extensions, so extremely long decorated nails. D, bucket hats. These are these hats that are sort of like, they look like a bucket, like someone put a bucket on their head. A lot of young kids wear that. And E, extremely oversized clothing. How do you feel about these options? What do you have to say? So what do you have to say about this? So extremely oversized clothing, love it or hate it. Bucket hats, love it or hate it. Nail extensions, extremely long nails. My daughter has really long nails, and every time I take her with me to the nail salon, then I'm like, shorter, 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 and she's like, doo doo, does not listen. So yeah, fair enough. Socks and sandals and gray undyed hair. Any opinions here on any of these things? So for me, socks and sandals, I don't understand. I don't think it's a nice look, but I guess it's practical. I guess if someone doesn't like their feet, then that's fine. Gray hair makes me look old, so I would not choose it, but there are some people who it looks good with natural hair color. I agree, Yuki. Same with me. Same thing for me as well. I see some people and they have silvery gray hair and they look gorgeous, but not for me. Neither love it neither hate it nor love it. Okay, so you're neutral towards that. B, love it. All right. C, hate it. So nail extensions. D, neither love it or hate it. Okay, bucket hats. And E, hate it. Extremely oversized clothing. Socks and sandals are the. So Renee, okay, you're our socks and sandal guy. No offense, but you're the only one here so far who has mentioned that they like it. So what is it about the socks and sandals that you like? Why not just wear the sandals, no socks? Why? So are you worried about your feet, or is it a hygienic thing, or what is it? Nail extensions? Yeah, for me too. I think it. Yeah, I understand a lot of women love beautiful nails, but for me, when it gets too long, and like I see my daughter typing, and this is how she types. No. Not in today's 21st century when you need to do this all the time. You can hear her. That's what it sounds like when she types. So if that's what you have to do, that's no good. My book, my opinion. All right. So let's move on. My question for you is this. Let me get rid of this. How does this look? I don't know why it's made this box where I'm in teeny tiny. Let me just check other options really quickly. What these other options do. I'm new to this. Okay, so that's just me. And then that, I don't know what that is. And that's just that. Okay, anyway. Okay, so that's that. So I have a banner for us. Let me remove this and let me add this question for you, because I think this is really interesting. I bet a lot of people have different ideas on this. Do you have any hacks when it comes to taking care of clothing? So whether it comes to taking care of sweaters or linen or stains or making things, preserving clothing, certain hacks that you have to make things nicer. So something for me, I just bought when we were in Africa, in South Africa, I bought a black dress, a black cotton dress. And probably if you've bought anything black and in cotton, you know that the color fades. It gets lighter and lighter every time you wash it. So, oops, hold on, I have all caps lock here. Get rid of that. The color fades very fast. And so to preserve the dress, then A, you don't wash it so often, and B, you can turn it inside out so that the front doesn't fade as quickly as the back. That's my little tip. Does anybody have anything that they do to protect their clothing so the color fades? Anything that you can think of. You can also, yeah, I don't want to say things because I don't want to take things away from you. But yeah, lots of things. If you want to wash your tennis shoes, for example, if you want to dry them, then you can take newspaper and ball it up and stick it in. Hello, Isa Sun, darling. So you can take the newspaper, ball it up, put it in the shoes, and then overnight, the moisture will be soaked up by the newspaper. And so then you won't have wet shoes. It's a great way to dry tennis shoes or shoes of that nature that you can wash in a washing machine. So that's another little hack I have. Anybody else have anything? Otherwise, I will share my first trivia question for us. Maybe you're writing. I keep my black dress in the dark drawer to avoid sunlight. That's a good idea too. Okay. All right. So let's move on to our first little, let me remove that. Here, I have to do this here. Excuse me. I have to add an image. And I think it was this. Yeah, we're starting with that. Okay. All right. And slowly but surely, here we go. Okay. So how can you improve the grip of a slippery shoe? So if something is slippery, you're walking on a wet street and you slide out, boom. So slippery is something that you slide on. And often when you get new shoes, especially if the shoes are leather underneath, they're very slippery and you walk and you're falling all over the place. How can you prevent this? And if you have any other hacks that you would like to share, hack is wash them once in a blue moon. But it's not hygienic. Yeah, that's true too, right? Wash every blue moon or once in a blue moon, and Yeah. Okay, so what do you think that it is? A, spray them with water. B, rub them with chalk. C, scrape the soles with sandpaper. Or D, dust with flour, like baking flour, where you can bake bread. Have a question for you. Why a woman's choosing clothes alone and man doesn't choose the outfit by himself? Still need a woman's opinion. I think that depends on the man. I think that really depends on the man. My ex-husband loved clothing. He was a peacock and he would choose his own outfits and rarely asked me my opinion. And Peter's like, I don't know, help. So yeah. So all right. So you're guessing C, to scrape the soles with scratchy sandpaper. The sole of a shoe is underneath the shoe, the flat part. And where the red is on these fancy shoes, that whole area back here is the heel, a high heel shoe. Any other guesses other than Yuki saying so? Aza-san, you're saying C as well, and that is correct. So to scrape the leather with sandpaper so that it becomes a little bit rougher and it can't slip so easily on the surface, and then that should help when you have new shoes. All right, moving on to our next one. And let's see, I have to get used to do this. I'm sure I have so many other hack and things that I can do on this thing. I'm now on a MacBook, so hopefully this will get better. Excuse me. All right. So, what unusual method can help stretch tightened shoes overnight? Okay. So you have a really tight shoe, and this is something that you could do overnight. And if anybody has done any of these tips, then please let me know if you happen to have done something with these. Like for the first one, has anybody ever tried to scrape the bottom of their leather shoe so that it's not so rough? Let me know. And the same thing with this one as well. Stuff them with towels and stuff them in with towels, sorry. B, leave them in the sun. C, fill them with rice. Or D, freeze a water-filled bag inside. There is no such a law. You can choose your clothes whatever you like by yourself. Exactly. There's no law. Wear what you want. So what can you tell me? What unusual method can help stretch tightened shoes overnight? Fill them with rice, leave them in the sun. I guess overnight, that doesn't really work. Okay, so we know it's not B. A, stuff them with towels, or D, freeze a water-filled bag inside. What can you tell me? So, okay. Ava, welcome, dear. So D, you're saying freeze with a water-filled bag inside. Yuki's guessing A, stuff them with towels. Okay. Do we have any other guesses? What can you tell me? Another A from Aizo-san? Okay, so here's the answer. And this one totally freaks me out. So if any of you try it, let me know. You're supposed to get, I guess, like a Ziploc bag, a plastic bag. Put water inside the bag, zip it up, put it inside the shoe, and let it freeze overnight. Ah, you're Sakura. Oh, sorry. I had no idea. Okay, Sakura. Sorry. Thank you, sweetie. All right. And I've said that so many times to you. I wish. Sorry. Sakura, you are Aba Bentang Uram. Okay, Sakura. All right. So do we take a bag, freeze it with water, put that bag of water inside a shoe, put it in the freezer, and let it sit overnight? I have a very expensive shoe, like the ones below, that Peter gave to me a million years ago. They were on my fashion bucket list, and he spoiled me and got me them, and I have worn them twice. They hurt so bad, they make me want to cry. I feel sick when I wear these shoes. And I don't know if I should try to freeze them with water in a bag. I mean, at the moment, I don't wear them ever, but So maybe this is an option. Has anybody ever tried this? It's my father's account on YouTube. Ah, okay. Okay, so here we go. What would happen if there's a small hole in the zipper bag? Yeah, that's a good point. So maybe you double bag it to be on the safe side. I don't know. Because at the moment, I don't wear these shoes. I love these shoes, but they hurt really. I mean, we went to an event, Sakura in Paris, and I had these shoes on. And at the end of the night, and this was, not a long night, I had to take them off because my feet, I felt like I was going to throw up. They hurt so bad. So, yeah, I need to fix these. I'm going to try this. Maybe I should try this and make a video of it. I don't know. Maybe not. Nobody cares. So let's move on to the next one. Okay. So let's see. Image. Here we go. I think that's our next one. Yeah. Okay. So classic situation that can happen. You get deodorant under the armpits of clothing. I see this on so many guys' t-shirts where under here it's kind of, it gets hard and crunchy and looks gross. So yeah. So what item can help remove deodorant marks from clothing? So I don't know if this is like, if you have the white paste kind of thing, or if this is a stain. Actually, I'm not quite sure. Somebody needs to try this and let me know. So do you use ice cubes, a paper towel, a dryer sheet, or makeup remover? So Sakura, you are going with B, a paper towel. Logical. All right. Any other ones that you can think of? Anybody else want to take a guess? Oops, thanks. Sorry. What have you got for me? C. Okay, Mohammed's going with C, a dryer sheet. And just so everybody's on the same page here, a dryer sheet is that little cloth-looking rectangular sheet of paper, not paper, I don't know what it is, a fabric that smells very intensively, and you can put that into to the dryer, and then your clothes smell fresher and come out softer. So C, dryer sheet, B, paper towel. So evidently, if you take a dryer sheet or you take pantyhose. So women, when you have like a nice outfit on and you want to have a very sleek covered leg, you can wear pantyhose. And evidently, if you use either pantyhose or a dryer sheet, you rub it on the mark and it will come off. Probably this is not the crunchy thing that I thought. This is probably if you have white deodorant on your shirt or something. Got to try that one too. Curious, has anybody ever tried that, or do you have another hack for this? Do you have a different idea for this? Be curious to know. All right, so now we're moving on to zippers. Okay, so what can you rub on a stuck zipper to help loosen it? So you have a zipper. I have one coat and the zipper hates me. From day one, the zipper is just like, I'm not your friend. I'm not going up. I'm not going down. I am staying right in this place. So I'm going to try this. Should I use olive oil on it? Pencil that has graphite, so like this carbon in it. Or so C, soap from Sakura, or D, toothpaste. Yuki is also going with soap. All right. What else can you say? I think olive oil, not so much. You get it on your clothes, then, your clothes are stained. All right. So the answer is supposed to be pencil, to use graphite, or lip balm. I would guess with soap, it's a little bit like olive oil, that maybe if it gets on the clothing, then it can stain it. I don't know. Anata. Okay, so everybody's saying C. So yeah, definitely not toothpaste. That will stain your clothing, especially if it has sort of a bleach thing in the toothpaste product. Olive oil is a perfect solution. I guess you have to be very careful with olive oil. And I wonder too, the type of zipper, if the zipper is painted, if that will maybe somehow take the paint off the zipper. Maybe, maybe not. I have no idea. Okay, so moving on. Has anybody ever tried this, or do you have a different solution? Pencil could also cause stains. That's true. That's a very good point, Yuki. That's a brilliant point. So let's change the answer here, and we're going to use soap in a very delicate way, and maybe olive oil in very, very small amounts. Okay, uh, that's fine with me. This is just for fun. All right, moving on to our next one. Moving on to sweaters. Okay. So let's see. So, how can you remove pilling from sweaters cheaply? So, pilling is this thing you have a wool sweater or any sort of natural sweater typically, and it gets these little tiny balls on it. And like for me, I have nervous energy, so I just sit there and pick it. It's disgusting looking. So, when a sweater does that, when you have a knit garment and it gets these little tiny balls on it, it's called pilling. And so, how can you get rid of that? A, wash them in hot water. B, use a hair dryer. C, shave them with a cheap razor. Or D, brush them with a toothbrush. Which one do you think makes the most sense to do? What can you tell me? Wash them in hot water, hair dryer, cheap razor, or toothbrush. So Yuki, you're saying D, brush them with a toothbrush to get those little balls off, or E, be disgusting like Jennifer and pick them and then pile them in one little area and then throw them away. Ay. It's not attractive. Okay, Michele, hello, dear, and Lorena, dear. So, and Iso-san. So lots of people going with C, and that's actually the answer. So they suggest that you take a cheap leg or face razor and just lightly go over the sweater to shave that off. I think if I have a fine sweater, I'd be a little nervous. I don't know if you've ever seen those little machines that kind of looks kind of like an electric razor, and it can take them and then put them into this little compartment. So maybe that's kind of like a razor. So maybe a cheap razor is not a bad idea. I think I would try that on a cheap sweater first and then move on to more expensive ones or continue to pick them off, probably. All right, let's see what we've got as the next one. All right, so jeans, moving on to blue jeans. And according to the Levi's method, so Levi's jeans, how can you kill bacteria on jeans without washing them? And Renee, earlier you were saying how better to just wash them less to maintain the quality of the garment. So A, freeze them in the sun. Leave them in the sun. B, freeze them. C, soak them in salt water. Or D, spray them with vinegar. So with vinegar. What do you think? Soak is when you take the jeans and you get like a little bucket of water, put water in it, put the jeans in it, let them sit overnight. You soak it. When your feet hurt, you can soak your feet in water. You can soak your vegetables after you cook them in an ice bath. You probably do that with a lot of things that you cook so that it keeps its freshness. So a lot of people guessing here. We've got a C, we've got an A, we've got a B, an A, and a B. So lots of A's and B's, all right? So the answer is B, to freeze them. So we've got a lot of stuff in our freezer right now. We've got shoes, we've got jeans. I have everything in there but food, I guess, at this point. But yeah, so you can freeze them. It kills the bacteria. But I don't know about the stains. Like, if you get an oil stain or if you get, ketchup stain or something like that on your pants, then I think you do need to wash them, freeze them. I know, right, Sakura? Freeze your jeans, freeze your shoes, freeze it all. Let's see. All right. Now moving on to necklaces. When you travel, okay, so our beautiful necklaces. How can you prevent necklaces from tangling when packing? So tangling is when you have let's say a necklace and it gets all kinds of little knots and you take it out and it's once was like this long and now it's this long and you have to try to figure out how to undo it. Your hair can get tangled. So anytime you have something that can hang straight and then it gets knotted up, then it is tangled. So how can we prevent this when we travel? A, wrap them in plastic. B, put them in a jar. C, thread them through a straw. So you take one end and you thread it through a straw, attach it, or tie them in a knot to begin with. Hello, Q. Hey, dude. Hello, hello. I read on the website about Levi's CEO recommending that. Evidently, that's something that Levi's say that you should do. Maybe we have to buy a freezer for fashion because I don't think it's sanitary to share it with food. Yeah, I agree with you, Yuki. Exactly. So what do you think? What should you do with your necklaces so that when you travel, they don't get all tangled up? What do you think? So secure, you're going with B, place them in a jar. Any other guesses or ideas? Maybe you have a good tip that you can share. My necklaces always get tangled, always end up in a knot. And I sit there in the hotel room and try to like untangle this thing. So C, thread them through a straw. All right. So the answer is actually C, to thread them through a straw. And this is actually really logical when you think about it. If you take a straw, so something you drink out of, and you take the smallest end and you force it down through the straw, take it the other end and then fasten it, then it has no way of getting all knotted. I think this idea is kind of genius. I think it's pretty cool. I think I'm going to try it. I need to buy some straws, but I think it makes a lot of sense to not have tangled necklaces. Let's see. That was necklaces. And last but not least, let's see, popping up. Here we go. What surprising item can you add to the dryer to help remove wrinkles without ironing? And I'm actually curious because when I first moved to Germany, very, very, very few people had dryers. Everybody hung their clothing on a washing line. Do you have a dryer at home? Do people typically in your country have a dryer? Nowadays, a lot of Germans do have dryer, or not a lot, but more Germans do have a dryer. And in America, everybody has a dryer, or most people do, let's say. But yeah, so here's a hack. What can you do to prevent your clothing from wrinkling, from getting all crumpled up and having to iron it? A, put vinegar in it. B, a dry towel. C, ice cubes. Or D, baking soda. So let's see. We have a B, we have a C, we have a B. I don't have one. Okay, so in Japan, is it typical to not have a dryer? Or is it sort of, you're not sure? I'm curious. All right, the answer, Yuki is saying, oh, sorry, Yuki, you're saying B for this one. Excuse me, I think I misread that. B, a dry towel. So we have 2 towels. Anybody want to guess anything different? Okay, so the answer is actually C. You're supposed to put ice cubes into the dryer, and that creates steam. And then, and the steam then helps for the clothing to not wrinkle. I found that so wild. And if you want your clothing to dry faster, you should put a dry towel into the dryer, and that will help to absorb, I guess, the moisture. Don't ask me how. But evidently that's supposed to work. And so if you want fewer wrinkles, add ice cubes. If you want it to go faster, dry towel. So I thought that these were kind of fun little hacks to add to our lesson for today. Thank you for joining me for the second half, or for the quiz section of our lesson. I will go live tomorrow at 4 p.m. German time. So an hour, or sorry, excuse me, 3 p.m., like on EWA, the same time as on EWA. So if you would like to join me tomorrow for more of this topic, then I would love to have you. It's getting popular in Japan, but Japanese people like to wear delicate dresses, which can't be put in the dryer. Yes, I understand that. And really quickly, some of you are here that have come a lot of times. Was the ending to my story today, was that an ending that I had used before? I can't remember. I feel like I used that in an ending of one of our stories. Bye, Lorena, sweetie. Have a wonderful day. I hope to see you tomorrow if you have a moment. So for those of you who heard the ending of the story, can you tell me whether I used that before? Do I need to hide my face in shame? Creating the stories for the second time. See you tomorrow, guys. Maybe you can leave me a message in the comments. I don't know. Have a wonderful afternoon and see you tomorrow. And if not, then next week I will go live with Mike and we have the movie Wild with Reese Witherspoon. If you've not seen that movie, it's very intense. I don't remember that ending. Okay, so maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't use it. Bye, Aizu-san. Have a great day. Bye, folks. Take care.